Good morning, students. In today's session, we are going to discuss on actions speak louder than words. So, this is a really very common expression what we hear in our day-to-day lives. What do we understand by actions speak louder than words? Here we, you know, I would start off with a quote by Steve Maraboli. I quote, "Don't let someone's words blind you from their behavior." Unquote. So here, usually we usually hear from the other people, and then their words would blind us by the way. You know, we think or we have our levels of expectations towards them being increased completely, whereas at the end they would just give up and say, I just said that, or maybe their behavior would say a lot, that they didn't do anything at the end. They just keep on saying that, they're going to do this, that, etc. But they end up doing nothing, or maybe hardly something. So here we need to remember that, people intentions can be judged much more better by what they do rather than what they say. That is the actual meaning of actions speak louder than words. We have some examples for these, like, you know, in our day to day lives, we may, apologize to someone over and over on some instance, or somebody else may apologize to us over and over something which they might have done to us. But when they just 100 times apologizes for something, or something what they might have done or what they might have said, does it matter in case again if they are going to repeat the same action against us, or if they are going to do the same mistake again to us, or the same wrong against us? Will there be any any profit in them apologizing so many times to us? There won't be any use, right? So when there is no change in action, it would just, their sorries would just go in vain. This would be one example. And a very common example for this could be our politicians. Okay, they just keep making lot of promises to our, us as citizens, that if they vote or if we vote, they will do their best in completing the works, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll give water supply, and you have some examples, right? Like double bedroom flat and all these, which we usually hear, government jobs and all that, right? So all these are some examples which would hardly be, in actions rather than in words. The other common thing would be seen in the work environment. Maybe, uh, for example, when you go for a job interview, you will be like asked to introduce yourself, and then you would be asked about what are your strengths and what are you good at and everything. And then maybe at that time you will be like going on telling about how good you are at so and so things, and you would just go ahead telling about what kind of work or what all you can do. You will even end up saying that I'm ready to do extra work or overtime, and I'm good at this, good at that, and I can do this, I can do that, I have this talent, that talent, this skill, that skill. You would just go on like a talking parrot, by with an endless strength and endless skills. But you need to remember that whatever words you're saying there, that would matter a lot, that would be counted, not just the usual words what you speak to your friends or to your family. It is your professional setting where you know your presence this could be counted as a plus and minus point also. They may just listen to you at some point of time in future when they ask you that, you said that you were good at this skill when you happen to have an interview with the HR. Where is the skill? What happened? Will you do this? Then if you are unable to answer to it, that would be seen as a negative point in you. So remember what you speak and speak sensibly. So you need to set an example by doing rather than saying it. Remember that. So here's an example, what you can do. What happens here is, you can just look at it. This is the reality and what you're supposed to do in your day-to-day lives. The results of your actions speak louder than your words. You can read a million motivational sayings to, just push up yourself, or echo them to others. You can just read it out for others, but you are just the same. And if you won't change, unless you or your actions won't change, you know it won't change anything. Nothing. Your behavior won't be changing. You will be just remaining the same. If you just don't have to read it and preach it to others and expect that it's going to make a difference in your life, but you know it's not going to be enough. What you need to do is let that word or let that thing be seen in, or it should be taken into action rather than telling everyone. It's just going to go in vain. So it's better if you get into action rather than going on blabbering things. Okay, so you need to set an example by doing rather than saying it. So let your actions speak aloud rather than your words. So we have an example here. You say that you are my best friend, but there are very few who would be there as a friend when we are in need. Okay, there's a difference between helping out a person when a person is in need. Okay, so what you do is really more important than what you say. Okay, because the things you do shows the true intentions and feelings. That is what is important rather than the words. Words can be spoken by many people, and then you know words would just end up, they would never end up actually, but deeds are the ones which would be counting. I hope you understood the topic of actions speak louder than words. So let your actions speak aloud. Let your actions be fruitful and helpful to others in a positive way. So hope to meet you again in the next session. Thank you, students.